They flew in on a private jet, cocktails in hand, laughing at nothing and everything. There were 8 influencers, 3 event hosts, and 1 billionaire tech CEO. All of them were invited to spend New Year's Eve at a place the world didn't even know existed. Raptor Point. It was an abandoned island, turned into a secret resort in the Pacific, surrounded by dense jungle, an airy silence, and one hell of a view. The invitation promised a private, once-in-a-lifetime New Year's Eve experience. There would be fireworks, spectacular drone light shows, and the pure exclusivity of being somewhere no one else could ever access. But hidden in the fine print, there was one line in the invitation that nobody noticed. A simple warning that read, "Whatever happens, stay inside after midnight." This is where their countdown began. And this is where it all ended. Welcome to Raptor Point. Welcome to the bloody chapter. If you enjoy survival horror stories, drenched in blood, secrets, and the screams they never let you hear, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Now, let's open the gates. The island was stunning, but way too quiet. There were no birds chirping, no insects buzzing, just the sound of the sea breeze rustling through the jungle trees. The guests, a collection of models, streamers, and crypto Bruce thought it was perfect. That's how arrogance works. They toasted each other by the infinity pool, filmed drone shots of themselves posing against the sunset, and completely ignored the signs. There were strange claw marks etched into old stone walls. There were locked gates with the Tressie warnings burned into the metal. And in the distance, a strange tower emitted low pulses, like a deep, rhythmic sonar. The event staff, who had been so attentive all day, refused to stay on the island after sundown. They packed up and left without a word. Midnight was still 7 hours away, but the horror had already started. The chef vanished just before sunset. The guests just shrugged, assuming he'd bailed, maybe run off with a bottle of expensive liquor. But in the trees behind the outdoor bar, one of the hosts found something. A single, pristine white boot, still full of a foot. One of the security cameras, before it went dark, caught a flicker of movement in the foliage. It was fast. A blur with a long tail, definitely not a monkey. At 9:32 p.m., the power failed. All the lights, all the security systems, all the smart doors. Everything went dead. Then came the first scream. It was a raw, piercing sound that cut through the silence of the island. They found the influencer couple, Max and V, torn to shreds in their private bungalow. The door was ripped from its hinges. Deep claw marks were gouged into their flesh, and blood was sprayed across the luxury silk sheets. There were no signs of a break-in, just the window wide open, and a trail of 3-toed prints leading back into the dark trees. Panic finally set in. The remaining guests scrambled for their phones, trying to call the mainland, but there was no signal. They were completely cut off. No staff, no boat. The launch pad for the helicopter, it was locked behind a biometric scanner that now had no power. They were trapped. At 10:14 p.m., someone suggested they hide inside the main lodge. That someone was Allah. She wasn't a guest. Her name tag listed her as event coordination, but nobody remembered seeing her arrive. She seemed calm. Way too calm. Her badge had no name on it. She just looked at them with cold, steady eyes and said, "Let's get below if we want to survive." They followed her without question, desperate for any kind of safety. She led them into the old maintenance tunnels beneath the lodge. The air was cold and damp, and that's where they found the steel doors. World. Government, heavy duty, blast doors, and burned into the metal was a single word. Janara. It was never a resort. Raptor Point wasn't a luxury getaway, it was a containment facility. It had been built over an abandoned government lab, a place where gene splicing experiments had once brought prehistoric creatures back from extinction. And the guests, they weren't guests at all. They were test subjects. At 10:41 p.m., the steel doors wouldn't hold anymore. The metal groaned and buckled under a relentless assault from the other side. Then, they burst open. They came in fast, 3 of them. Raptors, real ones. Not the monsters from the movies. Smaller, leaner, and way smarter than expected. They didn't roar. They made a series of sharp, clicking sounds. They hunted like they remembered how. Their movements fluid and coordinated. A crypto bro named Tyler tried to run. He didn't make it 6 steps before one of them was on him, its claws tearing his face clean off. A model named Mia just froze, her eyes wide with terror. She didn't even have time to scream before another one ripped her throat open like it was tearing paper. 2 others were dragged, screaming, into the darkness of the tunnels. Blood began to run in thin lines down the sloped concrete floor. The countdown to midnight kept ticking. Ella slammed the heavy door shut behind her, sealing herself and the last 4 survivors in what looked like an old command center. Monitors flickered on the walls, displaying corrupted data. It was here, surrounded by the hum of dying machines, that she told them the truth. They weren't supposed to survive. This whole event was a population test. Controlled chaos, designed to collect data on how modern humans react when preyed upon by something faster, older, and far more intelligent. But something had gone wrong. The containment field wasn't meant to fail until after midnight. Once the fireworks started, the light and sound were supposed to distract the creatures long enough for a covert recovery team to arrive and extract the personnel. But the Raptors had adapted faster than anyone had predicted. They learned the patterns. They attacked early, 11:37 p.m. One of the last survivors, a twitchy streamer named Derek, tried to steal an access key from Ella's belt. He thought she had a secret way out, that she was planning to save herself. She didn't. But his frantic movement triggered the lab's emergency motion sensors. The main power grid surged, and the cameras came back online for just a few seconds. Just in time to catch the moment the ceiling vents burst open, and something far larger than a raptor dropped into the room with them. This wasn't a T-Rex. It was worse. It was leaner, a horrifying hybrid creature built in total secrecy. Its teeth were like a row of steak knives, and its arms were long enough to grab you from 6 feet away. It had no name, just a designation code X09 screams. The sound of ripping flesh. More blood. In the chaos, 1 survivor, only 1, made it through a damaged exit shaft, crawling out into the jungle night. Just as the clock struck midnight, the sky above Raptor Point exploded with color. The planned fireworks launched into the sky, lighting up the jungle in brilliant flashes of red, gold, and green. From the beach, a lone figure walked away from the chaos, a woman, her face covered in blood, limping, her designer dress torn to shreds. It was Ella. She looked up at the exploding sky, and a slow, cold smile spread across her face. She whispered to the empty beach, "Happy New Year," because she wasn't running from the creatures. She was the one who let them out. This has been another bloody chapter. If you made it out alive, like, comment, and subscribe for more horror from the edge of extinction, betrayal, and blood. There's always a next chapter. The only question is, will you survive it?